I need to grow. I need to be successful in this world. I cannot just go into my office and be show my loving and kindness. It's all stupid. Trust me. It took me a long time to get over that. This word, loving kindness, is why is it so important? And it's not, in the radical joy, we talked about this, like how joy is not a zero sum game. And by zero sum means if I am getting more joy, does not mean I'm taking your share or you will get less. It is enough joy out there. So same thing, like loving kindness, just because there is competition in this world and we are all, for the lack of a better word, competing with each other in some ways, does not mean that love and kindness we cannot have it in our lives. In fact, those stupid competitions are kind of restrict us from that pure loving kindness. That's our true nature. And in fact, when we are practicing loving kindness, we are not doing it for other people. We are doing for ourselves, because when we love other people, we love us. And when we love us, we love other people. And we are only able to love if we practice loving and kindness. And it's for us more than it's for other people. Because I used to think it's for other people, right? That's the reason I used to think that why in the world I will practice this. I'll be stupid to do that. But it's more for us, and then automatically it's for other people. It just flows naturally, and then in the process, I become more creative, and I pass on that creativeness to other people, and then it's back and forth. So it's it has a very deep meaning which I'm still learning, but I would like to kind of make this session. We have only 55 minutes left to do our best to kind of feel it. This is not a topic where I can give a talk on that. I really, really want to limit this talk to minimum and feel more and do some guided practice. I don't want to open books and kind of start talking about what is loving and kindness. It's not, yes, I will do that for maybe 10 minutes, but not more than that, because this is not a topic where academically I can teach anybody anything. This is all about you and me and I putting my share, you putting your share. So it's let's use this 54 minutes to fully feel it. And even like listening, when you are listening to me and I'm listening to you, you might be listening more than I do. Listen with full feeling. I found out that there are four kinds of listening. I will quickly mention that. Four kinds of listening. One is a distracted listening. When we are doing something else, our friend or our spouse or our kids kind of are telling something, and we are kind of totally ignoring them because we are distracted by something more important. So that's kind of distracted listening. That's the level one. Level two is a little bit better than that, but um, it's evaluating. Like, sometimes if I'm talking about something, you guys are looking at me and kind of naturally, nothing wrong with that. It's our natural behavior too. We are kind of judging that other person. Oh, maybe he or she is just talking. He doesn't do that himself. Or like judging when if somebody is talking in a conference, we are kind of judging. Oh, maybe he has something in it. That's why he's giving a speech, or he's talking in a conference, or even in a face to face, like somebody's talking and telling you something, and we are judging more than listening. So when we are judging more than listening, that's the second level of listening. First one was distracted. Second was judging or evaluating. I call it evaluating listening. Listening while evaluating. So we are evaluating more than listening. Third is paying attention. So yes, it's better than being distracted, it's better than evaluating. You're paying attention. But again, paying attention is more academic in nature. When we have an exam tomorrow and we are listening to a tutor or a teacher, we are kind of fully paying attention, taking notes as much as possible, trying to put all the points on the paper. So that's Again, is academically we are trying to get everything out of the speaker. That's why we are paying attention. That's not the best. That's still third level three. Level four is what I learned is more meaningful, and that's called deep listening. And why is it called deep listening? Because here your goal is not to take points, all the points, and try to pass the exam or something like that. It's about fully feeling what other person is feeling. So like when somebody is talking, whatever their feelings are, you are feeling the exact same feelings. And that's called a deep listening. And in this session, I let's practice as a part of this session itself some deep listening so that we can feel each other and fully deep listening. That way we can. This topic is, as I said, it's not about academics. I cannot I do a justice to loving kindness by teaching you what to do it. I mean, you're all adults, no more than me. How can I teach you how to love? But let's practice deep listening, and that where we can achieve something in this session. And idea is to get something out of this session. It's not some we are not required to be here. We all of us have better things to do in our lives. So yeah, I hope you can see the screen. The agenda is again, we'll start up with some warm up. Warm up is just for warm up. It's not like I won't use this time to cultivate mindfulness, because I will be talking a few of those things which we can do to cultivate in our talk session. So once I get a chance to talk about how can we cultivate, uh, what is meta, why do we need it, why is it difficult to practice meta. But when I'm saying meta, I mean loving and kindness, and how do we cultivate it. So then after that talk, which I will like to make it brief, and then we'll practice a good amount of time in a group meditation where we will cultivate meta at a deep level, and that's the time we need to feel more than do. There's nothing to be done here. There's nothing to be learning here. It's about all about feeling, and then we will of course have questions and answers in the end. So yeah, I like this quote from Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. As I was saying, we always have built so many barriers against love. One of the example I was giving was trying to be successful. So we feel that we can be successful only if we compete with other people. Even the joy, we think it's a zero-sum game. So we have built you and me. You are different, I'm different, and we will be always different. My family and your family. You take care of your family, I will take care of my family or me. And that's that's that concept of that is going completely against that. And I can only love my family truly when I love your family also. So yeah, uh, let's start up with the warm up exercise, and we'll go from there. Just to You may be coming from doing different activities. So let's start with some mindful breathing. Sit comfortably, relaxed. Try to close your eyes if you can, and just take natural, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale slowly. Just focus your attention on your breath. Noticing the sensation in the chest or the stomach. With each inhale, feel a sense of calm, and with each exhale, release any tension, small or big, doesn't matter. We always have some kind of tension. Just release it. We'll continue with our gentle body scan now. Start with your toes. Slowly bring awareness to different parts of your body, starting with toes. Notice how each part feels without any kind of judgment. Just observe, relaxing any areas of tension or tightness in your legs, hips, arms, shoulders, neck, head. Let's place our hand on our heart. Just bring your attention, feel your hand, feel the warmth and openness just this action creates, gently breathing at the same time. Just gently try to remove the barriers which I was talking. Just feel a sense of compassion, warmth, and kindness growing for ourselves at this point. Now, setting our intention for this metta practice, bring to mind just one person for you who, for you, it's very easy to show admiration, or basically, it's very easy for you to love that person because maybe that person was in your life for long, or you just in general feel easy for that person and just pick. And it doesn't have to be an alive person, it can be dead or alive, or family, or friend, or a teacher in your life, somebody who was kind to you in the past, or if you cannot even find any of those, just a spiritual being or so called God. Why not? Or your even your pet. We'll try to warm up our metta loving kindness using or for that person just to warm us up. Imagine that that person, he or she, is sitting just across you, looking at you right now. your gratitude for that person for being in your life. Recall something, some incident that you like about or why you like that person, something kind that he has or she has done for you, or just may not be physically but emotionally or psychologically. Just remember the good things, why you love that person. Now, silently, just repeat simple intention. Again, we are doing this to cultivate loving kindness for this person. By default, we are all not always is loving and kindness is something foreign was foreign to me. So yeah, we may say romantically, I love you, but that doesn't mean anything. So let's cultivate some loving kindness for this person, which is easier for us. May you be happy. Imagine you're saying this thing to that person in front of you. He or she is sitting in front of you. May you be peaceful. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. Now try to notice if your heart feels a little bit open than when you started, or anything in between. It does, or maybe it's nothing. That's fine. This is a warm-up exercise. So now moving the same attention to ourselves. Let's send some loving kindness to ourselves as an adult, which you are right now, or your younger version of yourself when you were a kid, if you can remember that, or bring it in your memory. Just send love and kindness to that yourself now, or your younger version. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. Just allow and enjoy these kind wishes. See if you can sense something in the body. Thank you. In the interest of time, I will only spend 10 minutes on the talk on this topic, and then we will do the guided meditation, which is kind of more relevant to this topic. So I'll start with a quote. I love quotes. It's from Rumi. If I love myself, I love you. And if I love you, I love myself. We're all connected and inseparable. It may seem that we are not connected, but we are at our pure essence. So if I learn to love myself, it makes it easier to accept love from you and also to give you the love. So in it's saying it's I need to learn to love myself fully, and then it will be easier for me to accept love and also to love you. The separation will diminish. So when we are like threatened, when we are feeling, when we are threatened in this world, you and me and you, separation, we are afraid and anxious and angry. Our energies are always channeled to survive. I need to survive first. Who cares for the love and kindness? I need to survive first. And when we are trying to control things to protect ourselves, of course, when I'm doing controlling things to protect myself, my heart is not open. So, what is metta? Is also called loving kindness. It's a Pali word for loving kindness. It basically means unconditional love and kindness without any attachment. And it involves cultivating an attitude. It's about attitude of love and friendliness and goodwill towards ourselves and then to all other beings. So that's the meaning of this word metta. Why do we need it? I always like to ask this question because I don't want to just say that, oh, it's good, but why do I need this? It allows me to love freely and live freely without reservation and helping me connect deeply with myself and with you all and others. Because in the end, I cannot live in this world alone. And the one key point here is trust the goodness in myself and others. It's very hard. It's not, it may sound like easy, but trusting the word, trusting the goodness, first of all, me trusting the goodness in myself is very hard for me. And then trusting the goodness in you all, oh my God, that's hard because my mind will say, oh, I will start judging myself and judging you. Trusting the goodness is hard and deep goodness. I used to volunteer uh, in a San Francisco jail for 1 year, and I used to conduct some AA meetings there. And you know, these people were in the jail for a reason. So I used to feel that inside all of them, I may judge as much as I want, but inside all of them is the same light burning. I could have been them, and they could have been me. Just the conditions are such that I am coming here to conduct a meeting, and they are sitting there. Inside us, we are all same. We were born the same way as I was born when I was 1 year old. The way I was looking at people, they were doing the same. So it meta helps us tap into the wisdom in our heart. And I've been talking about always like wisdom versus knowledge. Knowledge is not enough. We can get knowledge listening to reading all the books, listening to all the YouTube videos all day long, and we can say, oh, now I know everything. But wisdom is completely different. And wisdom is the place where you don't need, it's a more reliable and it's more closer to reality and it's more productive. It's natural. So when I'm practicing love and kindness for myself and for others, in a way, I'm tapping into that wisdom of my heart. And it, of course, contributes to the well-being of myself and others, and for the whole world. I'm just contributing my piece. Like, like many of us, accept, including me, it's hard to accept myself and give it unconditional love because We talked in the session of self forgiveness, how important is self forgiveness. And that's also one of the barriers, because if you cannot forgive yourself, you cannot have unconditional love for yourself, then that's the barrier for loving and kindness. So self love and self compassion is the foundation for practicing metta. I can only love you if I love myself. I cannot speak here talking with an empty cup, trying to give you the tea. My own cup is empty. How can I offer you anything? And then negative emotions kick in as we were talking. You versus me versus you, and these are all takes me away from loving and kindness. But with loving and kindness, I can also improve my daily connections. We connect to people all day long, not just family, friends, but people, strangers on the road, people at work. And when we have this kind of loving kindness, we just we don't have to give anything to anybody. We can just feel the connection to everybody, and it in the end it helps our own well-being. I've seen, like, when I came to this country, it was slightly better than the country where I was born. People say hello to each other on the road, and I felt good about that, because not in every place where I have lived, people just pass by each other, and again they have this separation, me versus you, and they kind of judge you. But many times they don't say hello or hi. It doesn't cost me anything, but I have this kind of judgments going, that why should I say hello to them? And if what if they don't respond? I will be like, my ego will be hurt. And that kind of thing carries me even when they're gone. I carry that kind of negative feelings, and I don't get connected to my daily life, to myself. In fact, by just saying hello, which didn't cost me anything, I can get connected to myself, and I got benefited. I don't know about them. So we build all kinds of barriers due to fear, anxiety, and stress, and this emotions just leads to cut off from our connections, causing us to hide ourselves emotionally. And then, I talked about success and competition, and this is how we were raised up. I mean, when I was raised up, I was told, just like a lot of us, that you need to compete, means like you need to do better than everybody else in my class. Otherwise, I'm a failure. And this kind of competition always contributed. When I'm wishing that I get better marks than you, I'm indirectly, how can I love you? So my inherent goodness and loving nature was kind of, every day as I was growing up, it became less and less and less. As a small infant, I was smiling at everybody. I was thinking that, oh, I should not love this person. I was just smiling and happy going. If you smile at me or pat me, and I will also smile. But as I grew up, this kind of competition, me versus you, caused all the fear and anxiety in me. And then I had expectations, right? Even for the other people, like my people, like, let's say kids. If you have any kid, like, you have certain expectations from them, and you feel that, oh, if I keep loving my kids, they will get spoiled. So that's also kind of a barrier for me to fully love, because I'm thinking I have certain expectations for myself also and from my other people. And sometimes we go through grief, And that's painful. We all know that people who have gone through grief, and that's the time when we kind of lose it. And also, a lot of times it feels mechanical. Like, it almost feel like when we are doing loving and kindness, we are lying to ourselves. It's very, very scary and it's very sad, but it sometimes it can feel like that we are lying to ourselves. So just we need to remember that we can go with basically observe these blocks towards loving kindness, even if they feel mechanical or not natural to us, and sometimes it can bring opposite feelings too. But just allow this practice to flourish slowly and slowly, and just like any every other practice which we have been talking here, it doesn't get developed in an hour or few days. It's a slow process, and just sometimes it's mechanical. Like I gave the example, like when there's an ambulance going in my area, I cannot even see that ambulance, but I made it a habit that I just say that to myself that may he or she be happy, peaceful, and free of suffering. I have no idea who that person is in the ambulance. I cannot even see that ambulance, but just by saying that, my mood changes. So these are the tricks we have to kind of force and hopefully slowly, slowly cultivate this loving kindness. So how do I cultivate? Now comes back to the same practice thing which I was talking about already. Uh, Meditation, meta meditation is definitely one of them. We can meditate, if possible, few minutes or maybe more than few minutes, trusting the basic goodness. With a like sometimes I feel meditation is for myself. Why will I do that for loving kindness? No, it helps me trust the basic goodness in myself. And once I trust the basic goodness in myself, guess what? I will start trusting at least I will start trusting a little bit the basic goodness in you all and other people whom I don't even know. It will be a deep sense of belonging, and I will be fully content, and my cup will be filled. And once my cup is filled, it will spill. I will spill that love to anybody and everybody all day long. I can, if my cup is full. If my cup is not full, that will be a fake love and fake kindness. I can ask myself a basic question, which is very, very strong. It shouldn't be called a basic question. Who am I? Who am I? Physically in this world, maybe I'm Sanjeev or whatever. Socially, I may be father, spouse, or architect in the work, or man, or a neighbor, or a brother, or whatever. Who am I? Maybe I'm body. I was fat before, now I'm skinny. Maybe my mind. But these are all keeps changing. Even the body we all know it keeps changing, but even the mind keeps changing. I mean, there was a time in my life when I was like 18-year-old. I knew calculus because my mind knew calculus. But guess what? Right now, I have no idea what calculus is. So my mind, I may think it doesn't change, but it's changing. Just like my body is changing, my mind is changing. I'm no longer the same person as I was. Believe me, that I'm very clear. I'm changing, and sometimes in a bad way, sometimes in a good way, but I am changing. So where is my true identity? Who am I beyond this ego and the mind? It's not body, it's not mind. It's I don't know what I am, but that just that basic question will bring me closer. to my true nature. And once I get more and more closer, it'll be easier for me to practice this loving and kindness for myself and for others. So, who am I is a good question to ask. And just then, we have done so many mindfulness of emotions. It was a big one, which I loved. Mindfulness of my feelings, mindfulness of uh, thoughts, beliefs, and of course, body and breath were the background of that. So when I'm practicing mindfulness, I'm aware of my negative thoughts. Like I can catch when I'm judging you. I can catch when I'm not deeply listening. We talked about listening, 4 levels of listening. I can catch myself when I'm distracted or I'm just paying attention and or just evaluating, not deeply listening. So practicing gratitude, like that's something that's a big topic by itself. We by nature we don't practice gratitude enough. And I know again this just like loving kindness, this gratitude feels flowery and fake to me. So I it's hard naturally to practice this gratitude. Because why? Because we always feel we are not enough. When I had $10 in my bank, I was not enough. When I had 100, I still thought I don't enough. Even if I have 1,000 or 100,000, I will still feel I'm not enough because I'm looking at this world and competing. So where is the how can I develop gratitude that oh I have $100,000 let me be gratitude. Well, you have 120. So practicing gratitude is important. Respond with kindness. This is again a challenging thing, but with we can practice all our mindfulness which we have been learning, different mindfulness we can practice in this by responding to kindness and listening deeply and community engagement. We can always there's plenty of opportunities to be connected in the different kinds of societies and cultivating meta. So I know I'm very important to go through the meditation for me, and this has went a little bit longer than what I thought. May you all feel loved and realize that love is our true nature. With after 60 seconds, let's start this guided meditation. That's the main thing why we are here for. We might go 5 minutes over time during our questions and answers. Just please try to listen deeply and feel what I'm saying in yourself, and that's where we can try to cultivate loving kindness. So just bring your attention back to your breath. Notice the natural rise and fall of our chest or abdomen. Just feel a sense of calm. Again, try to listen deeply and let go of any tension or stress. So we'll start with ourselves, cultivating loving kindness for ourselves. So try to imagine you're looking in a mirror. We typically look in our mirror in our bathrooms or any other place. Just imagine you're looking at your mirror. Bring your awareness to your heart while looking at yourself. Look in your own eyes in the mirror. Can you trust your inherent goodness, which you were born with it? Or do you have any biased opinion about yourself that, I'm not good enough, I'm not so called successful, I've done this thing bad or that thing bad, or I have certain beliefs that I have personal flaws, I'm not smart, I have, I'm not that healthy, or every everything what we typically think. So, but can you trust your inherent goodness in spite of all this? I am talking about inherent goodness means like who you really are. Who am I? And at that level of who am I, you are pure love. And you can trust that, whatever that is. There is no name to that. But you can trust that it, which you were able to feel when you answered the question, who am I? You cannot judge that at all, even if you try to. You may want to be perfect in many ways, but you can still trust that it. And then realize that you're in this world. Yes, every day is a new day. You are, each one of us, including me, we are not the same person as we were even yesterday or last week or last month or last year or several years ago. We know that we are changing and life is changing around us. We know that, we can see that everything is changing. So, whatever happened in the past may no longer be true today. So, there is, again, you can trust the goodness. Yes, you could not have trusted your own goodness maybe last year, but that should not stop. You can trust your goodness today. Allow these feelings without any resistance. And you can literally visualize a positive situation when other people also admired you. I'm sure you can think of something, a day or when you felt good in your heart. And if it helps, I like to put my hand on my heart and let go of any self blame or forgive myself, basically, and just life, allow the life to flow through myself without any resistance. And when I'm putting my hand in my heart, I, I can connect to a deeper sense of love, awareness, and present moment. And I can let go of, at least for this moment, any fear or anxiety or stress or feeling of separateness. It just helps me trust my own goodness. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. while listening deeply. These four things. Genuinely wish these four things for yourself. Feel if there is some compassion arising in you for yourself. Now let's hold on to that compassion and we will try to cultivate the same compassion for a person we loved, which we did it in the warm up exercise. We'll try to do it again. So bring into mind, pick that person whom you deeply is who is basically very easy for you to love, dead or alive. Like picture them clearly in your mind, or maybe just in front of your eyes. Eyes can be still closed. You can feel your connection to them. And again, bring your awareness to your heart by placing your hand, if possible, and trust his or her or whatever that person is, their inherent goodness. Try to trust their inherent goodness they, without any bias. They may have also done something bad, or they may also have some personal flaws as per your mind, your judgment mind. But do you feel that they are deep down good, good enough for your standards? Can you, for a moment, stop judging them, even if they are not perfect in your mind? Just allow this feeling of love without any resistance. If, if possible, try to visualize those situations where they were when you admired them fully, even if they may have done something wrong. Just forgive them and connecting with them with deeper sense of love, awareness at this moment, without any anxiety or any kind of separation. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Now just imagine that loving and kindness surrounding them, bringing them comfort and peace. Now we'll try to do something which is can be a difficult thing in the beginning, which is perfectly fine. That's why we are here for, to start this with a small seed. We may not get there, and we will. I mean, it's very natural. We may not be in that position right now because it's enough harm has been done, so we may never be able to get there so easily. But let's start cultivating that. So extending our loving kindness to someone difficult who was not good to you. I'm sure there must be somebody in this world who was not good to you, and you may have forgotten, but that's true that as per your standards, as per your conditioning at that moment, you believe that that person was not good to you, or you had conflict with them. It might be challenging. So just try to bring that person in mind and trusting your awareness of your own heart. See if you can trust that person's inherent goodness. It can be too much for you. So please, if it is bringing some strong emotions in you right now, don't worry about it. Just let go. But if you can, I will at least like you to try a little bit, even if it is hard. I know it can be very hard. In fact, it can be so dangerous. But if possible, cultivate a small seed. See if you can trust that inherent goodness. See if you can imagine that person when he or she was born. Just imagine you were there when that person was born. Maybe that person's mother was holding that infant in her arms. That infant has zero conditioning, so that inherent goodness was there. See your own biased opinion. It can be biased, it can be true. Of course, it sounds true, but see, just recognize that opinion. Even if you strongly believe that your opinion about that person is true, that's fine. You can, but can you see if you can accept that and apply that mindfulness technique of your feelings and emotion, that saying that I am angry. I'm sorry, I am feeling angry. I am not angry. I am feeling sad. I'm not sad. Because I am is the answer to that who am I question. And that who am I question, the answer to that question cannot be angry. The who am I question, that person, that it cannot be sad also. So yes, in this body, you are feeling angry towards this person. Yes, in this mind, you are feeling sad, but you're feeling sad and angry. Just recognize that. You are different than what you're feeling. You're bigger than what you're feeling. And just visualize that same person whom you have so much conflict or anger. Maybe that person has done something good to somebody else. May not be you. So put your hand in your heart again and allow this resistance which is coming in you towards this person. How can I love that person? But just trust your inherent goodness first. And if you trust your inherent goodness at this point, chances are you will be able to send some kind of loving kindness because you're trusting your inherent goodness. And it starts with us. When we forgive ourselves, there's nothing to forgive in other people. We talked about in the forgiveness session that it's all about us forgiving ourselves. There's no concept like forgiving other people. It's all about us. So forgive yourself and trust your own inherent goodness, and it will automatically flow. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Remember, in this practice, we are not condoning their actions by any means. So we are not like saying, that, okay, it's okay, whatever you did was good. It's about freeing ourselves. And that's what is required for me to emotionally live well. I'm not saying that that person It's like, yeah, you did. Okay, continue doing that. No, it's about freeing myself from anger and resentment, which is very important for me. And also recognizing their shared humanity. We are all one at the end. Like we are all one. We are all conditioned in different ways, but there is oneness there. Non-duality they call. The concept of non-duality is so beautiful, but I know it's difficult to understand or practice that. But a lot of spiritual leaders talk about non-duality. So in the end, I would like to end in few minutes is like extending the same loving kindness now just to all beings, which includes neutral people. And this I was talking about this world, just extending loving kindness to all beings, expanding our awareness to all the animals, people, animals, and all living creatures in general. Like there's so much suffering of human beings and animals across the world. I cannot do anything, but I would still like to extend my loving kindness to all beings. I know it may sound like weird, but again, the goal is for my own well-being, and hopefully, I can be an example and do my piece. Again, with no judgment or attachment, just focusing on my emotions of loving kindness to all beings and asking the same one, the great question which I talked about: Who am I? See if you can discover the source of your true identity when you answer that question, which is beyond your ego and beyond your mind. Your mind cannot answer that question. Your knowledge cannot answer that question. Then recognizing the oneness of all life. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease, and may all beings can trust the goodness in themselves. Slowly open your eyes, carrying the sense of loving kindness with you as you continue with your day today and tomorrow. Thank you all. If anybody wants to share something or ask any questions, please do.
Hi, Sanjeev. Hi, everybody. So, what I found really, throughout the talk, what was in my mind was what you mentioned at the end, non-duality, being oneness. And I actually found it very helpful. The thought or the practice that you explained, looking at yourself in the mirror. There's that saying, can you look at yourself in the mirror the next day? And that's a very practical way to start with, yourself, and fostering the metta in yourself so that you know how it feels so that you can practice it towards others. I think that's a very practical approach for me, the mirror and the metta for yourself. Thank you.
I'm so glad you were able to resonate with that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sanjeev, I want to say something. That listening word, you made it clear very well. I never thought about those four listening. I'm listening, other people are listening all the time and talking. But the way you explained, it touched my heart that what is deep listening. And unfortunately, we do just little part of that when we listen all day. Maybe 10%, maybe 5%. And in a whole week, maybe just 10% time we spend in deep listening. But that's the one is more important, and we it can reform, it can change our life a lot. We don't need to do deep listening still all the time. It's not practical, it's not possible. But if we do instead of 10, 15, maybe 20, if we improve this, that can change our life, that can give us up for us, for myself, love, and that can I can that spread that love to others also. If I do deep listening more, I am doing now. Now, and one more thing I want to share quickly. I know it's kind of late for uh, just I really believe in this, that whoever is done bad or something you have feeling against them, doesn't matter. If you do to third or fourth person who you don't know even, you go beyond and you do something for them, it comes back to you. I have seen this in my children's life. I have seen in my life. I have so many examples, but I know I cannot share now. But I have live examples, real examples in my life, in my children's life, because they did something to somebody who didn't know who they did for them, or they don't know who that person, but that came back to their life or my life. It always comes back in different way. Thank you.
Thank you. You said it so beautifully. Yes, coming back to the quickly on the listening side, yeah, we only feel that when we're distracted listening, or we also believe that evaluation listening. And in the best days or best time, we can do this third level of listening, which is called paying attention listening. And that's about it. I I didn't even know there was a fourth level after paying attention, because paying attention was just taking notes and grasping all the knowledge from the speaker. And I didn't realize there was a fourth level of listening, which is deep listening. It's about feeling, like listening to the feelings of the speaker, and basically feelings to feeling. And to me, that's like, we I talked about cultivating. How do we cultivate meta? And there are several ways I talked about. One of the ways is listening. Like, it may sound like, oh, we are listening, how are we doing meta here? There's nothing to do meta here. No, we are practicing that muscle of meta when we are deep listening, because deep listening is also a form of meta towards the other person and to ourselves. So Yeah, deep listening is also practicing metta. Thanks.
Hi, Sanjeev, and hello, everyone. I have these few lines which are so beautiful that I just want to speak them out. It says, 1,000 versions of you. You have shed 1,000 skins to become the person you are today. And if you ever feel overwhelmed by the many people you once were, remember, your bones have grown, but what makes them has never changed. So I connected to these in today's session and I was reminded. So thank you, Sanjeev. A very powerful session. And Metta Bhavana is all about freeing ourselves, more than forgiving, more than loving, freeing ourselves. So thank you again. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautifully said, Sunita. Thank you, and thank you for sharing your knowledge or your wisdom, not knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. I know we are over time a little bit. Have a great loving and kindness, a day with filled with loving and kindness, and the next day and the next day. Thank you. Happy growing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.